Since the start of the season, the 2025 draft looks a lot different. Right now, sitting at the top of the draft order with the worst record in the league at 3-21 is the Washington Wizards. While in the eyes of many, there's a few guys that have closed the gap. As of right now, Cooper Flagg is still the consensus top pick. Now, so far, it hasn't quite been the earth-shattering start we hoped for, especially offensively. But despite that being the case, very few have even thought of hopping off the hype train. Through his first 11 games, he's stuffing the box score, averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1.4 blocks. Where the concern comes in is the efficiency. Right now, he's shooting just 42% from the field and 24% from 3. Not exactly what you want to see, but he's already been the game-changer defender he was advertised as, and with how much he's stepped up against top matchups, 26 against Kentucky, 24 against Arizona, 22 versus Auburn. There is a lot of reason to be confident the efficiency is going to improve in a big way as the year goes on. But even if it doesn't, it's still going to take a lot to dethrone him from the top spot in this draft. The second overall spot is a very interesting one so far. For one, New Orleans being here is shocking. They came into this season expected to be a playoff team with a win total over 40 wins. But after being decimated by injuries, they currently sit with just a 5-22 record. Another reason this spot's so interesting is that it looks like we have a new favorite to be the second overall pick, Rutgers freshman Dylan Harper. Prior to the season, there seemed to be a clear 1-2-3, Flagg at the top, followed by another Rutgers freshman Ace Bailey, and then Harper at 3. But now it's looking like he's comfortably in the 2 spot after starting the season on fire. The 6'6" guard is currently averaging 24 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds, shooting over 52% from the field and 36% from 3. An objectively incredible start that has cemented his place as the top guard in this class. It's pretty much impossible to not be bought into a 6'6" combo guard that as only a freshman is one of the most productive players in the entire country. He's a 3-level scorer that can get to the line at high volume. His efficiency beyond the perimeter didn't get off to a great start, but it's quickly improving, making him a nearly bulletproof prospect with how things stand today. Last week, I told you guys that PrizePicks, the sponsor for today's video, was going to have promos flowing for the holiday season, and I wasn't lying. PrizePicks is simple. You pick more or less on different player stats for the chance to take home up to 1,000 times your entry. And right now, with Picksmas going on, it's really the best time to check out PrizePicks if you haven't. They're currently giving you a shot at $1 million. All you have to do is place an entry between now and Christmas. Then at the end of the promo period, the person with the highest multiplier on a winning entry is taking home that $1 million. But as mentioned, the promos right now are rolling in all throughout Picksmas. On the board currently is a Nikola Jokic free square for Christmas Day. All he has to do is get a single point. Over the next couple weeks, we've got NBA games, NFL games, and the college football playoffs. There are plenty of squares to choose from. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, if you click the link in the description and use the promo code JIMMER when you sign up, after you play your first entry of at least $5, they're going to hook you up with $50 instantly. Thank you PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. With a record of 5-18, the Utah Jazz are on the clock and grab Ace Bailey, someone who so far has lived up to the hype. The 6'10" forward is averaging 18 points and 7 rebounds, shooting 47% from the field and 35% from 3. He brings a rare combination of size and shot creation to the table that, at least assuming he's able to maintain a somewhat similar level of production, makes him a lock to go very early in this draft. But with that said, he has quickly become the most polar player in this class. While on paper his profile is incredible, many have been quick to point out some glaring holes in his game, mainly his lack of volume at the basket. While his efficiency from the field is good, most of his production is coming from the mid-range, the least valuable shot in basketball that we're seeing less and less at the NBA level. But while Bailey's skill set right this second might not be ideal, the talent at his size is undeniable. Very few, if any, selections in this draft are going to come with more upside. In a lot of ways, this kind of feels like Brandon Miller all over again as far as the criticism goes. It's gone way too far. Betting against a 6'10" freshman wing with production like we're seeing from Bailey is consistently a losing system. With the 4th overall pick, the Toronto Raptors go with one of the biggest early risers, 6'6" Texas freshman Trey Johnson, another prospect that it's easy to overthink and overanalyze. The production to this point has been nothing short of incredible. He's averaging 20 points, shooting 48% from the field and 43% from 3. But similar to Ace Bailey, while the production on paper is great and the talent's clearly there are some glaring flaws in his game. The biggest being his lack of playmaking and tunnel vision as a scorer. Real concerns. But why would those not be subject to change? Assuming his ceiling is merely Cam Thomas is ridiculous. I'm actually starting to believe that some of these quote-unquote draft experts would be more bought into someone like Johnson if he was shooting 30% from 3. The Charlotte Hornets at 5 grab another guy who's quickly climbing up the board and starting to really solidify himself as one of the top prospects in this class. Positionless, 6'9" freshman, Yegor Demin. It's really not hard at all to see why there's so much interest beginning to head Demin's way. He's pretty much a point guard the size of a power forward. That alone would have scouts interested, but the production is also there. He's averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, with shooting splits of 49% from the field and 39% from 3. This would definitely be a very intriguing addition for Charlotte, putting Demin alongside LaMelo and Brandon Miller. With the 6th overall pick, we see the Blazers add to their incredible young backcourt by selecting Baylor freshman VJ Edgecombe. Edgecombe's a 6'5" guard who's an athletic freak. He's built like an NFL linebacker with the ability to jump out of the gym. So far this season, he's averaging 12 points and 3 assists, shooting with 42-27 splits. He's clearly one of the more raw prospects in this range of the draft, but it's hard to deny his long-term upside on that end. Then on the other end of the court, he's more than lived up to expectations. He's currently averaging over 2 steals and a block a game. It's crazy that this is even possible, but somehow, Oklahoma City is on the clock at 7. This selection's coming from Philadelphia, who are only going to keep their selection if they stay inside the top 6. So somehow, some way, one of the best young groups in the entire league that's already in position to compete for a title is able to add a prospect like Kasparas Yaxionis, another player that has skyrocketed up the board early in the season. The 6'6" Illinois freshman has quickly emerged as one of the top players in the entire country. He's been filling up the stat sheet, averaging 16, 6, and 6 on incredible shooting splits, 47% from the field and 42% from 3, numbers that are only improving as we get deeper into the season. Right now, the Brooklyn Nets are at 8, and they grab Duke 6'7" freshman wing, Con Knippel. Knippel on the year so far is averaging 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists with 41-35 splits. Efficiency that really doesn't tell the full story. Bleacher Report put it well. Scouts aren't going to nitpick at the percentages for Con Knippel. His track record, shooting fluidity, shot-making versatility, and positional size make his perimeter scoring easy to buy. He's also shown he can add value in other ways, particularly with his ball screen passing IQ and overall decision-making. The 9th pick belongs to the Pistons, who go with another Duke freshman, 7'2" center, Kaman Mulawach. Born in South Sudan, Mulawach has been on the NBA radar for quite a while now. He brings a level of fluidity and coordination you rarely see at 7'2". His numbers early on don't jump out, 8 points and 5 rebounds, but that's not going to stop him from being a lottery, likely top 10 selection in this draft. NBA GMs are constantly searching for versatility on both ends, and that's exactly what Mulawach has a chance to bring at the NBA level. With the 10th overall pick, the Chicago Bulls grab Cooper Flagg's high school teammate and UConn freshman, 6'7" sharpshooter, Liam McNeely. On the year, McNeely's averaged 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists, with splits of 43% from the field and 34% from 3. Numbers that don't paint the full picture of his season so far. McNeely is without a doubt one of the top 3-point threats in this class. He also brings plenty of size and foot speed to hold up defensively, a combination that puts a very high floor on him as a prospect, but I also think his upside is really going overlooked. He isn't nearly as one-dimensional as he's commonly portrayed. The main reason I say that is his ability drawing contact and getting to the line, something he's doing more and was on full display when he led UConn by 8th-ranked Gonzaga just a few days ago. He finished that game with 26 points, 8 boards, and 4 assists, managing to get to the free throw line 12 times. The Sacramento Kings are in the 11th spot, where they decide to grab Georgia freshman and 6'10" power forward Asa Newell. While Newell was definitely on the map for the draft when coming out of high school as the 13th ranked recruit in the country, he's definitely helped his stock massively to begin the season. Right now he's averaging 16 points and 6 rebounds, as well as over a steal and a block a game. Newell's a top-tier athlete that thrives in transition and can get downhill with the ball in his hands. NBA Draft Room describes him As long, explosive, fast, agile, and gets off the ground in a hurry. His skills are still developing, but clearly has an NBA level frame. Noel right now doesn't quite have the shooting you want to see from an NBA forward, but he has been a willing shooter, opening the door for that to be a much bigger part of his game in the future. The Spurs are at 12, and with how things have shaken out to this point, their selection seems pretty obvious. They go with French 6'4" point guard Nolan Traore. The Spurs are going to continue to look for long-term additions to their backcourt, and Traore brings them a skill set ideal for a lead ball handler. Sports Illustrated describes him as rather than leaning on elite athleticism or positional size, Traore operates with craft, quickness, and skill. He's creative and boasts good touch at all three levels, making him a versatile offensive talent. Now, over the last 2 years, Traore has been playing in the French professional league, where his efficiency hasn't been great whatsoever. But between his performances at the international stage, the Nike Hoop Summit, and the Adidas NGT, he's proven to be one of the top guard talents globally. As of right now, the 13th overall pick makes its way to Atlanta via the Los Angeles Lakers. Here, they grab another Illinois freshman shooting up the board, 6'8" wing Will Riley. For his size, he brings a ton of skill to the table. He has a strong handle, is a tough finisher, and so far surprised scouts with his production beyond the perimeter. He's averaging 14 points and 4 rebounds, shooting 43% from the field and 38% from 3. The Thunder are back on the clock at 14, and here they just continue to load up on positionalist do-it-all players. They select 6'7" South Carolina sophomore Colin Murray Boyles. After a really solid freshman season, Murray Boyles jumped onto the NBA radar, and so far we're seeing the exact jump we hoped for. He's averaging 17 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and over a steal and a block a game. He's also shooting 65% from the field and 33% from 3. Now, it's unclear how far he's going to be able to expand his game, but with this big of a jump in year 2, there's a lot of growing confidence that there's much more development left in his future. So there it is, our final mock of 2024 for the 2025 draft.